Hi everyone. Today we're going to have a quick look at utility billing. And we'll have a specific look at City of Joburg billing. We very often get bills with estimated readings with lots of reversals, and it's about as easy to understand as, or it's as clear as mud, let me put it that way, with lots of reversals on it. So the first screenshot that I will show to you is an account that has some estimated readings on it. So, and then what I will do is I'll show you the second screenshot that is off our system, that actually, where there's a check meter in place that actually shows what the actual consumption is, and it will show what the difference is. Invariably, what should happen is that we should get billed on a 30-day basis. What the city very often does is that they will go back and bill us for a slightly longer period, which also then makes it very difficult to understand or figure out whether it's correct or not. So this first screenshot that I will show you is that there's estimated readings on all of them. You'll see that it says that the daily average for each of the meters that is there, and the bill is for a total of 5,057 Rand. The next screenshot is actually off our system. It actually bills for the fixed charges over the period, and it shows that the actual consumption is 597 kilowatt hours, and you will see that being overbilled by 1,949 Rand and 9 cents. It just goes to show that by actually having a check meter in place, it actually immediately gives you that real-time information, and it actually gives you the ability to go to council and verify that it's whether the bill is correct or not. According to NERSA regulations, if you do have a check meter in place, the check meter information must be used. So it makes it that much easier to go and query that. The next screenshot that I want to use is an account of a client that was back billed beyond the prescription period. So just to give a little bit of context as to what happened is that council merged two of their accounts. Their rates account and their services account used to be on two different accounts. When they merged the two accounts, council failed to link their electricity to the merged account. They then, in 2022, realized what their mistake was, and they then tried to back bill them for 4 years rather than the prescribed 3 years. I want to also clarify here in that many people don't necessarily look at the details of the accounts. They get the account and they will simply pay the account, and not necessarily just look at what it is. Look at the details of it. Obviously, over a period of time, this is exactly what's happened, and people didn't realize that there was no electricity. That's not necessarily an excuse for not paying for the services, but that's exactly what happened. As far as the city is concerned, because they had made an administrative error, that does not allow them to back bill beyond the prescribed period. So in this particular instance, when you look at the account, it goes back to 2018, and there is a reading of 31,614. So when the client came to us, what we did is we went and we asked for a meter download. Very specifically, the only prima facie proof of consumption is what the meter download says. Nothing else is proof of what the client may be billed. So when we went and we had a look, and when we got the download from City Power, we went and had a look, And on the next screenshot, you will see that, in fact, 2018, the meter reading says 75195, not 31, a rather large difference. So we raised a query and said to council, please rebuild the account, in fact, to 2019, not to 2018, and we asked them to please explain to us where they got the reading of 31 from. In fact, when we looked at the complete download, the reading of 31 was in 2013 sometime, not in 2018. We did a calculation. I mean, the client admitted that obviously they owed council money for electricity consumed. We did a calculation based on the consumption. We did the calculation according to the months, according to the tariffs for the 2019-20 period, 2020-21 period, 21-22 period, and you'll see that on the screenshot. And the actual amount due is 193,943, assuming that no payments were made, versus the 259,715.90 that council billed, which is a rather large difference. Just an example of how important it is to actually make sure that one knows, number one, the prescription periods that apply, and also number two is to make sure that when accounts are rebilled, that they are rebilled according to the months and not in lump sums, because those things have a big impact, obviously according to the steps, as they should be billed. Council likes to rebill. When they do rebills, they like to rebill it in a lump sum, which obviously from a step point of view, it puts you into in the last step, which has a big impact on your final account. If I go and I show you another screenshot, this in real terms is what your bill should look like. So you should have an opening and closing reading, electricity, capacity charge, basic charge. If you were maybe part of a sectional title complex, there will be a common area, water common area, and sewer common area that is reflected on it as well. I'm showing you another screenshot of another bill where, from a water point of view, you can see exactly what your consumption is for the month, your basic charges, sewer. It shows you your kiloliters, and it actually gives you a graph of what your consumption is at any time. That is really, and it shows you what your tariff is most important. NERSA regulations from an electricity point of view tells you what your says that your tariff must be displayed on your bill, which we currently in Johannesburg, it doesn't tell us that at all. So it's very difficult for us to verify whether we are being billed on the correct tariff. On the next screenshot that I'm showing you, which is very easy to have a look at, is that here's a bill displayed for a period, and can see exactly what it is. We even have the ability to show comparative tariffs, so that over a period of a 12-month period, we can actually do a tariff analysis to show whether you're on the most advantageous tariff or not. And it shows you from a time of use tariff exactly how many kilowatt hours you are consuming at what time of day. So your total consumption, peak, standard, and off-peak, and also what your peak demand is. Behavioral point of view as to whether you should change your behavior or not, where you're using your peak, where your peak consumption is, and whether you should change your behavior or not. Those are just some of the benefits, certainly, that you can have from installing a check meter, whether it's at your home or your business, and certainly from a billing point of view, from a systems point of view, when we start doing billing, the benefits that you have from seeing from a consumption point of view. Also, where the other benefits come in from having a system like this in place is that when you start looking at implementing renewable energy, is that, again, you know exactly what your consumption is when you're consuming it, and what sort of systems you should be implementing. Because, as we've said before, if you measure, you know, and you know then what the best systems are to implement and how to implement.